The story really starts with the moment a lot of people stopped feeling sorry for Will Smith and started asking uncomfortable questions. After that infamous Red Table Talk episode aired, the image was hard to ignore. Will wasn't speaking as a man in control of his own marriage. He looked small, quiet, like someone taking hits in public and being told it was healing. And that's when voices like Charleston White stepped in and said what a lot of people were already thinking but weren't saying out loud.
But you come from a world of where you could monetize certain things. So, hey, before we talk about it, let's bring it to the red table and let's monetize our conversation.
If I can't please you, how you want to tell people this? All kind of go be trying to fuck you when they realize I can't please you. They got the ups on me. Mama got the ups on me, man. I can't please my woman. How you think they looking at me? Look how we look at Will. Y'all see how you know how you look at Will. Like a weenie.
And it changed.
Like a weenie.
Why do you think he's still married to Jada? Why is he still in there? She's clearly shitting on him.
She got a secret on this nigga.
Ain't no different than a nigga that whoop his and the woman stay with the man that whoop her. Same thing. She love that rotten motherfucker. She don't like the ass whooping, but she love him enough to take the ass whooping. That's love. Love ain't about what you can give. Love is about what you can take. So shit, man, no. He love that hoe. You talking about? And then, they probably do some freaking. Yeah, they probably done some things. They gotta kill each other if they leave each other. No, you leave me, you might tell somebody, I'm gonna kill you.
Charleston didn't focus on just one moment. He zoomed out. 30 years of fame. 30 years of being carefully packaged as the perfect guy. No scandals, no mess, no real cracks, until Jada brought their private life to a table, put cameras on it, and monetized it. And here's the key point that matters to this story. Charleston didn't frame Will as weak because he stayed. He framed him as stuck. According to Charleston, Will is the victim here. Stuck in a situation where leaving wouldn't just end a relationship, it would open doors. Doors to conversations, to explanations, to things that had been kept private for decades. Staying married meant the narrative stayed managed. Leaving meant losing control. Now, while Charleston may have his own credible theories as to why Will won't divorce Jada, we know someone who knows why Will won't divorce Jada. Because this someone is none other than Will Smith's ex-best friend, Bilal. He has spoken out against the Smiths a few times before, and that time led to a lot of pressure.
I talked for 2 hours.
Okay.
And I said some pretty, what some people may think to be outrageous things, but I knew them to be true and had the evidence to be, to show that it was true. So from that, that's when Jada responded out of anger, not out of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Because for her to be a global iconic superstar, you rushed to the Breakfast Club to say, number one, that, I extorted you. There was a money shakedown. You said you didn't have all the facts. So that puts you in legal jeopardy right now. You said all the facts will come out. None of the facts came out, right? So now you, Will, and yourself are in legal jeopardy. Her lawyer sends me a cease and desist letter, which I had to report him to the bar, Kenneth B. Hertz, because he said, I never knew Will, and I have everything here. I never knew Will, that I never worked for Will, and that he said he represented Willard Carroll Smith, which is Will's real name, but he was asking me to take down statements from Jada. So that's what we call in law overreaching. You cannot, if you're saying you represent Will, you can't compel me to do something against Jada.
If what Bilal says is true, then this wasn't about clearing the truth. It was about control. According to him, Will Smith was living in a constant state of fear. Not fear of the public, fear inside his own world. Bilal claimed that Jada controlled the environment around Will so tightly that even if Will wanted to leave, he couldn't. After Jada spoke publicly, Bilal made it clear that his issue was no longer with Will. He said Will was stuck, trapped in a system he didn't fully control. Instead, Bilal said his conflict was now directly with Jada, because he believed she was trying to discredit him before he could speak freely.
Will's never responded, and they responded in less than 9 hours.
They did. That was a fast response.
That was because he know what I saw in that dressing room. He know other things that I saw.
You said it was murder.
Yes, Dwayne Martin's a serial, because Will's not the only one, and we're gonna get into that later on too. Since now, so basically, Jada's interview did two things. It makes me now, me and her at war. I'm gonna put Will to the side. Will is to the side. Me and Jada, I will say this because I know you're watching. I know Karen Tense is watching.
Who's Karen Tense?
That is her PR person for years.
Okay.
Right? I know they're watching. Jada, you're a bald head liar and you're a drug addict. Right?
Oh, God.
You did not sue me. You told the world that you were going to sue me.
Ooh.
As of yet, and you said you're going to do it swiftly. It's been over 2 weeks. So, Jada, I'm giving you 2 more weeks to sue me. If you don't sue me, this is what's going to happen. All the parties, right? And the people, the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names, right? All the salacious stuff that you have done and hurt other people, I'm naming names. Because now what we got to do is we got to force her to say she lied. You assassinate my character. You say I extort you. Well, extortion is criminal. Like, I would be in jail right now if I tried to extort the Smiths. If this was an extortion plot. See, there's a difference between saying something that's civil. Like, I could say different, like she's had various venereal diseases, right? And I'm saying that. Jada has. I'm saying that, right? But I'm going to tell you why she's not going to sue me. Because she knows it's true.
Bilal said that kind of exposure is exactly what Jada wants to avoid. He also described how media outlets suddenly stopped inviting him to speak, how interviews were canceled, and how people grew afraid to platform his story. To him, that showed influence and control, not truth winning on its own. At the center of all of this is Will, who seems to be under the control of an increasingly erratic Jada.
So that's why my attack is on her now, right? Because at the end of the day, Jada is a bald head lying dope fiend. Period. That's what she is.
I can verify the
right?
bald head part.
Right? And the liar, the whole world knows she's a liar.
Yeah, we can verify.
And let's talk about the dope fiend. So Jada has self-admitted to using and other which are illegal. Who got them drugs for her? Who got the ecstasy that in all these interviews she says she used ecstasy, addicted to? So you're trying to tell me that's criminal. You're buying or sending someone to buy illegal drugs. But when you got this type of money, ain't nobody coming. You say you addicted to all forms of porn, men, women, bestiality, all this stuff.
She said bestiality?
Oh, goodness.
I didn't know nothing about that.
Listen, let me say something to you. All you got to do
I know she said she had a sex addiction.
No. She also that she was addicted to. So this is from her own, because people see what I do is I'm going to connect the dots with people. So now they can go and see, oh yeah. Then also she also claimed to be an alcoholic, right? So yeah, so she said she passed out. I think it was on Nutty Professor or something because she was smoking weed and drinking too much and the drugs. So this is a dope fiend. Her mother was a dope fiend, right? So we got to look at the behavior of the dope fiend. Right? This is what we're looking at.
Bilal painted Will as someone surrounded by contracts, agreements, shared business interests, and public image risks. Divorce wouldn't just be a personal decision. It would trigger legal questions, financial reviews, and renewed attention on old stories that were never fully answered.
Will has always paid you for all the work that you've done.
Oh, an abundance. And Will has put a significant amount of money in my pocket. That's why this wouldn't have been a problem with the book. Listen, Jada comes in and say don't give him nothing. My thing with Will was, and even when we're on my Instagram with that video where Will say you in the book, I blew you up. We were in the middle of all this stuff. But I'm in it with Jada. I didn't really have time to talk to Will that night. Right? I didn't have time to have that good conversation with Will. But then the slap happened. And I didn't want all this stuff to come out during this. This would have crushed him during the slap. Right? So Jada essentially kept me away from Will. But Will knew what was going on. And like Jada runs Will, period. Because there's nothing that two friends of 38 years, a little small business deal, right? That might be what, 100 and something thousand, 190,000, whatever that amount is, right? It's two friends can work that out. But when you got your narcissist wife and sociopath wife saying, oh, I'm gonna crush him, I'm gonna kill him, this is criminal. Listen, so this is what happened. So, of course, Charlie Mack the rat hits me and say, hey, Jada wants and Will wants to talk to you. Now we're going through all this with the mediation, the lawyers, everything, right?
This is before the interviews.
Yeah, this is way before the interviews, right?
Okay.
So I'm at the position like, okay, so this is how I have to talk to her. I gotta get with Charlie Mack the rat. He's gonna have a special phone. Boom, I get with him. He's gonna call Will and Jada. They're gonna be on the phone. I'm gonna have a conversation. So Jada was like, look, they offer me $10,000. That doesn't even cover the cost of the boxes. This is Jada offering me, right? And this was after the mediation. This is what they offered me. And they started off with $5,000 in the mediation. Then it went to 10 and I left the mediation, right? I'm like, I'm not even trying to do business. I brought all these boxes to the meet. I showed everything that I needed to show that I did on my end as far as our contract was concerned. And there's emails supporting everything. So she said, you're going to take that $10,000. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to take the $10,000. Then she says, well, I'm going to crush you if you don't take the money, because if you don't take this money, now you could sue. Now, if I would have took the money at the mediation, it puts me in a position where I can't sue them.
That's why, according to this perspective, Will stays married. If a third party speaking causes this much reaction, imagine what happens if the marriage itself fractures. A divorce wouldn't just be emotional, it would be procedural, legal, adversarial. Will Smith can't get out even if he wants to. Now, another insider has some really interesting theories on why Jada treats Will the way she does. Boozy said the real problem was never fame or movies. He said the real problem was Tupac, and more importantly, what Tupac meant to Jada.
But, you know, Tyron was saying how, like, on the set in the early filming of Menace, him and Tupac and Jada would be like wrestling with each other and like playing around and joking.
This
you know
high
what I'm
school, this lovebird shit.
Right.
Like this deep, bro. Like, I feel like that can't be stopped, bro. And I felt Pac felt the same way. I was looking at an interview on Vlad one day, and they said Pac came in the studio mad or something about Jada telling him to leave Will alone or woo. Pac was some shit I was watching. And if that was true, a nigga made man like that, and you get mad, nigga, that's love.
Boozy explained that Jada and Tupac weren't strangers. They knew each other when they were young, before fame took over their lives. People who were around back then said the connection between them was deep and real. On movie sets, they joked, played around, and acted like two people who truly understood each other. Boozy said bonds like that don't just disappear. He believed Will Smith thought that once Tupac was gone, Jada would move on. But according to Boozy, that never really happened.
Will Smith wrote a book since our last interview. And he mentioned Tupac in his book, because, Jada and Tupac had a friendship before the two of them had met. And in the book, he said, I hated that I wasn't what Tupac was in the world, and I suffered raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that. Their relationship just gets more and more strange as the years go by. You know what I mean? It's almost like she goes out of her way to embarrass him, and he just kind of goes along with it. The whole, from the entanglement to this Tupac thing to like all the other shit that goes on. When you look at their relationship, what do you think?
She couldn't let go of Tupac. I mean, you got a relationship with somebody, You gotta understand that, like when you got a relationship with somebody, he chose to marry her. You know, he knew how she loved Pac. He knew how she loved Pac. I guess he thought she would see past it. But you know, when somebody, I feel like they was deeply entitled to each other forever. And you know, he came along. You know, this was way before him. He came along, you know, and I don't know. I just feel like Jada had a real deep love for Pac after he said that he could never shake. And he probably wanted to shake that love out of her. You know, he probably wanted to shake that, you know. Tupac was a fool. You know, I'm a Tupac fan. Tupac wrote a poetry. Yeah, Tupac f***ed up. Yeah, Tupac, hey, real niggas. I got went like, hey, bro, when you a real person, like, and y'all click, bro, it's special, bro. Like, it's special, bro. Can't nobody even take that shit apart, bro. Like, when they hurt, you gonna feel like you just hurt. You know what I'm saying? And by him saying that, he wish he had the love like Tupac. I don't know, you know, I feel like that with Jada was pretty deep with Pac, you know.
Suge Knight is another man who has reacted strongly to Jada, talking about Tupac's death and hinting at blame. He said people keep bringing Tupac's name up for attention, even though they weren't there and don't know the full truth. He said those stories hurt real people who lived through that time. The bigger message from both Boosie and Suge was this: Tupac was never just a chapter in Jada's past. He was a part of her story that never fully closed.
Jada was the homegirl. And then Pac was, shit, she was blowing Pac up. You know, those was the beeper days and the phone days. She gonna blow the phone up, she gonna blow the pager up. And Pac used to always say, Jada, I'm gonna come over there and beat Will's motherfucker. You know Will's a fag. That's the word Pac used, you know. But I ain't gonna put Will down, because me and Will straight and fucking. Truth is the truth. And Jada used to always says, oh, I love you, Tupac. We don't got a real marriage. It's an arrangement. He got the one, you know, he got his boyfriend and she got her girlfriends, and that's that. But we all have respect for Jada. I have to respect for Jada trying to her to say some weird shit. But Jada, now you know the truth. Who's behind, what's behind. So, are you still their number one fan? Because if you really know, and we know you know, you're still friends with these people. So, it's no either or. If you love Tupac, how could you love the people who was involved with it?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not saying you gotta go do something, but you don't gotta party with them. You gotta go for all the fake love.
And no matter how successful Will Smith became, no matter how many movies he made or awards he won, that shadow never completely went away. That's why people say this situation was never just about marriage. And now, over the past few weeks, something serious has been happening quietly behind the scenes. A lawsuit was filed against Will Smith by a musician who worked on his tour. Since then, people noticed something strange. Will hasn't said a word about it publicly. No statements, no explanations, nothing. And most telling of all, Jada has said nothing about the allegations surrounding her husband.
I'm not a lawyer, but after seeing all these headlines saying that Will Smith is being sued for sexual assault, I decided to read the 15-page lawsuit, so let me tell you exactly what this plaintiff is saying happened. Now, the plaintiff, or the person who filed the lawsuit, is this man, whose name is Brian King Joseph, and he's a violinist and a former contestant on America's Got Talent.
What is your name?
My name is Brian King Joseph.
Yeah.
I'm from Los Angeles, and I play violin.
According to the lawsuit, Will Smith and Brian King Joseph first met after Joseph did some studio sessions with several high-profile artists. After those sessions, he was referred to Will as someone that could potentially be used for some recordings. In November of 2024, Joseph meets Will in person and shows him what he can do on the violin. From there, Will agrees to let him play at an upcoming show he has in San Diego. Now, the San Diego show, which was in December of 2024, goes great, and according to the lawsuit, Will then invites Brian King Joseph to be more involved in the performances and tells him that he's a valuable member of the team and offers him more stage time during the shows. And their relationship, according to the lawsuit, grew even closer. The suit says that the two of them began spending additional time alone, with Will Smith even telling Joseph, quote, "You and I have a special connection that I don't have with anyone else." Okay. And other similar expressions indicating his closeness to Joseph. Now, from December until March, there's a break between performances, but by March of 2025, Will Smith is starting the first leg of his Based on a True Story tour. And this is the basis of what this lawsuit is all about. So the crew arrives to Las Vegas for their tour stop, and the way the hotel bookings would work, according to the lawsuit, is that Will Smith, which I'm assuming really means his team, would book everybody's hotel rooms and then send out a spreadsheet to the cast and crew that listed each person's room number and confirmation code. And this is key to Joseph because he highlights that the only people who had access to his room information would have been the hotel staff and the crew for this tour. So again, everybody's in Vegas and it comes time for rehearsals. Joseph and the crew get dropped off at the venue around 11 a.m. and Joseph says he left his bag, which also had his room key in it, in the van that they all came in. Now, by 3 p.m. on this same day, Brian King Joseph says that he asked management to get his bag from the van. But management tells him that they can't find it. About 2 hours later, management finds the bag with the key in it and they return it to Brian King Joseph. Now, around 11 p.m. on March 20th, 2025, Brian King Joseph says that he goes to the room that he had been assigned and discovered, quote, evidence suggesting that an unknown person had unlawfully entered the room. And some of that evidence included a handwritten note that said, quote, "Brian, I'll be back later, 5:30. Just us." There's a heart, and it's signed Stone F.
Will been posting travel photos, promoting his shows, smiling with friends, and acting like life is normal. And that silence matters. Because when someone as famous as Will Smith stays quiet during a legal storm, it's usually not by accident. It's strategy. It's because old mess-ups are resurfacing.
Will Smith is one of the most charming men I've ever met in my entire life. I was like, I love hip hop. I love all the old school, all the new school. Do you know Juvenile? I love Juvenile. It's right when the Hot Boys were coming out. I was like, I'm not, and then he's like, well, like this the whole time. He's like, dude, I like you. I go, I like you. Right. He goes, what are you doing tonight? And I go, I don't know. And he goes, let's go see a movie. And I was like, okay. He's like, cool. Meet me at Planet Hollywood at 7. And I was like, okay. And then he just walks out. And I was like, that happened quick. So I get in the car. I call my dad. He goes, how did it go? And I go, it went great. I go, we're going to the movies. And my dad's like, on a date? I go, I don't know. I don't think so. And he goes, who else is going? I go, just me and Will. And he goes, oh, buddy.
Your dad old school from Florida.
He goes, I think he's gonna f you. I said, what? He goes, it's very popular in Hollywood. These guys get so tired of that the only thing that turns them on is to young dudes. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, dude, I've heard about it. It's a casting couch. It's what they do. And I go, no, Dad, that's impossible. We just spent like an hour in a dance studio. It's a dance studio. I go, no, I go, Dad, trust me. He goes, buddy, what's more likely, okay? He goes, listen to me. The fact that you're so talented that after 6 months of doing stand-up, the biggest movie star in the world wants to make a TV show about you, or that he's tired of and he wants to I was like, oh, I'm getting I go, what do I do? And he goes, hey, buddy, eat shit and cash checks. Show up. He goes, you show the up. So he goes, just listen. He goes, my only son. I want to prepare you for what's going to happen. Yeah.
Court records show that the lawsuit is moving forward, at least against a company connected to Will's team, but it's still unclear whether Will himself has officially been served yet. That detail is important because it explains why he hasn't responded directly. The person who filed the lawsuit says he was hired to perform on Will's tour. He says he felt unsafe during the job, reported it, and then was let go soon after. The heart of the lawsuit is not about fame or gossip. It's about retaliation. The claim is that speaking up led to losing work. And this is where the bigger picture comes in. Will Smith is not just dealing with one problem, he's dealing with public pressure, legal pressure, career pressure, and long-standing personal scrutiny.
Know that Will Smith has had forceful engagement with Meek Mills, August Alsina, and Bashir Gray.
You know, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love.
Gray and Belial told me that he had with his own son. Those are boys. Those aren't little girls.
I love pretty girls.
Girls, 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 girls. Those are boys, Cam. What you mean Corey Holcomb is lying? The things he's done with children, though, are the most troubling things. Will needs to be locked up. His own assistant thought so as well, for the stuff he did to his son. You know, I don't know why people haven't hung Jada high for introducing psychedelics into her children's lives while they were still in their teenage years. I don't understand. They admitted that out loud and everybody was okay with it.
Not only does it help you feel better, but it helps you solve the problems of how you got there in the first place.
I know they all. I do.
So when people ask, why doesn't Will just divorce Jada? The answer may not be about love anymore. It may be about survival. What do you think is really going on with the Smiths? Why doesn't Will just divorce Jada? Let us know what your theories are in the comments below.